Okay. Won't let me do the live the other way. Weird. Well, hello, my boils, my ghouls, and my zools. Good morning. So, we did do a live stream last night, just kind of hanging out, but there was so many things breaking at the time. And, there's so many twists and turns in that. And, well, I'll just say it. Some of the info started out one way and went another way during the course of the stream. So that one ended up members only so that no one gets confused on some of the information that kind of went back and forth there. So I figured we'll pop up on here today and we'll just talk about that stuff again in a little more of a streamlined manner. So right off the bat, we should talk about Trigger Empire. So Trigger Empire had a lot of drama this week. The drama related to basically the internal structuring, investments and whatnot, and some accusations had gone around at one point, which did have some legs. And well, things seemingly have been worked out a bit. I think everybody heard the $500 price tag originally. And, well, yeah, I think everybody got a little suspicious about that price. And when it comes to the drama that went on this week, it was restructuring, really. So, looks like the announcement is that the Trigger Empire Kono is going to be US made, is going to be coming out for $279. So we will have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. I have been in contact with them, so I will be able to give some updates. However, I think it, given the prior dealings they've had, I think we should probably watch this before we buy. So I will keep giving updates on that as they come in because, well, the problematic portions, it's been restructured. So the problematic portions are, very much no longer potentially a problem. So we'll have to see how this plays out. So I'm kind of excited to find out about that because I think, most of us were looking forward to these forced reset triggers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see people starting to pour in now, so I kind of just started right off the bat. I plan on reposting this live later, but right now we are talking Trigger Empire. So Trigger Empire, yet again, since we got people coming in, I'll just repeat it. Trigger Empire is back on the table now. So they have had a company restructuring over the past couple days. After some, internal drama for sure. And looks like the trigger is actually coming out now. And, we'll have to see how this works out because it turns out they owed some money. And looks like there was a company restructuring, and they have announced at least to a couple people that were authorized to share the information that the Trigger Empire will be coming for $279. Hey, what's happening? Kingdom of Vinland. Yeah, so you were here last night. You saw a lot of that. I mean, basically, we're just kind of streamlining what we went through last night because, we had some twists and turns, especially regarding Trigger Empire. So that's pretty wild. If you guys got any comments about Trigger Empire, please drop them. Because we're going to be talking about a few things today. So I guess, next we got the question here, who bought KUSA? So apparently PTR bought KUSA. And that is pretty damn interesting. I mean, I'm still waiting for some updates to hear more about that, but the word is PTR bought KUSA, and from what I understand, that does not include tooling. That doesn't include, TDP, which would be their blueprints. The TDP, apparently, from a lot of internal sources from KUSA wasn't really anything to raise an eyebrow about. These weren't the actual planes that Kalashnikov concern builds their guns off of or anything like that. Apparently, a lot of these planes had incorrect dimensions too. So that's very, very interesting. So the roller lock boys, the roller delay boys are getting into the Kalashnikovs, man. That's pretty interesting. It's cool. It's cool. I don't know what y'all think about that. I mean, PTR, like you think HKs, they're making a lot of clone HKs, and in my experience, I kind of feel they've been a little hit and miss with their quality, but I've shot some good PTRs. I've shot some that were kind of, boy, doesn't want to cycle. I will say that, roller delay blowback is, it's not the easiest system to get running. So, might be a QC thing. Not really sure there, but, it's, they start building AKs under the name KUSA, I think that'll be pretty interesting. It's at least a easier gun to tune. That's certainly true. So I don't know what y'all think about that. It's pretty cool. And really, kind of moving quick here because last night we were really just hanging out. So it's kind of wanted to put this out as a news update. Really, I'm not a journalist, but so much news happened this week. So, we'll just keep going back over it as we kind of move along each subject. So far we've talked about Trigger Empire. So again, Trigger Empire is back on the table. They've had a company restructuring. Trigger is coming out US made for $279. There is no timeline on when it is coming out so far. We'll keep everybody updated on that. And the other news, PTR apparently bought KUSA. So that seems to be, name only. I don't know what assets that really includes, but from what I understand, it doesn't include the meat, and that's that would be owned by RWC, which would be their parent company, Russian weapons company, who does the importations. So very interesting. Now, next one's kind of fun. I suppose we should talk about the Flannel Diddy thing because that definitely is some gun news that I guess falls under AK news for sure because, he's involved in the industry a bit, so big dump about Flannel Daddy this week, old Grand Thumb. As I said last night, man, I can't even respect none of that, so I didn't really even want to respect calling him Grand Thumb because that's what he calls the channel, even though the word is pronounced Garand. So, BlackRock backing Bitcoin. Let's go to the comments here. So, I am actually not sure about that. We'll keep talking about Flannel Daddy while I look this up. So, this week, there was some Instagram accounts made under the name Harambe Thumb and an interesting one called Harambe Results. They got reported until it was shut down. So get enough reports, you can get pretty much any page shut down. Now, the info that was dumped on there was a big log that included his secret Reddit account, his secret Snapchat account, his accounts on different kink websites, and also the person who dumped the information uploaded what does not seem to be AI, does not seem to be sliced audio of voicemails from Mike Jones. And he's a weirdo. Turns out he seems to have an impregnation fetish, which is rather bizarro. Among the voicemails, there was literally one of him begging to see a chick's ass, as well as him saying he really wanted to come inside a chick while she was ovulating. Very weird. No, BlackRock won't ossify Bitcoin. That is 1 day ago. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF climbs to top 1% in record-breaking 211 days. I'm not really aware of any of this, honestly. I don't follow crypto news. I mean, I have invested in Bitcoin, but not something I'm particularly interested in anymore, you know, honestly. I guess that's something I would have to look into a little more, but I mean, uh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not into crypto really, so. Hey, thank you so much, Ace Wolf Peach. That's fucking awesome. Thank you so much, man. So, yeah, Flannel Daddy definitely doing some weirdo shit. So, oh, I know. I know. Whole army of the. I mean, shit, dude, I'm a flannel guy myself, but shit, I'm older than Mike Jones, so like I'm fucking Flannel Daddy, motherfucker. Because like I actually talk to my kid. Yeah, that's the another thing about the Mike Jones situation is that it's very, very apparent and obvious that he ghosted his ex-wife and first child and put the assets of his companies in his current wife's name, who he is also in a current divorce proceeding with due to his prolific cheating. He claims it is not due to his prolific cheating, but bro, we out here, we hear you in the streets, Mike Jones. We hear you in the streets. And you a hussy. As far as the fetishes go, there's probably worse ones to have than an impregnation fetish. That seems kind of tame as far as fetishes go, from what I'm aware. Yeah, it's just fucking weird. It's just weird. You know, I mean, you know, there's plenty of other weird shit about the guy. You know, for sure, I wouldn't even say it's conjecture at this point because he uses so much language from quiverfuls. And, you know, he's also one of the few outsiders to have been to the Botkin compound who are quiverfuls. And if you are not aware of what Quiverful is a Christian extremist cult. And yeah, this is not conjecture. This is not like calling, you know, like when people say like Mormons are a cult, so you have to argue, oh, there's two different Mormons, blah, 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 blah. No, this is a cult. And yeah, I mean, in the past, many sects of this cult have been charged with things like, well, of course, child molestation, you know, sharing child pornography, producing child pornography. The Botkins specifically were charged with child labor laws because one of the things that this cult is about is it's a matriarchy cult. So they believe the term quiverful refers to as in a quiver of arrows. They believe tomorrow's children are as a quiver, an arrow in the quiver. You know, so the more children you have, you fill your quiver. So quiver full. Interesting. What they think is that tomorrow's boys are political soldiers, and that's why they're so about guns and shit like that. They literally think they are going to insurrect at one point. They believe tomorrow's girls are tomorrow's mothers and wives, so they actually train the girls from birth to be wives, and that includes, you know, fetching the dad his slippers, you know, giving him a kiss, you know, between every freaking thing. You know, it's weird stuff. You know, if you want to find out what these guys are up to, go watch some documentaries on quiverfuls. You know, if you don't need to go that far, there's a pretty famous family of quiverfuls, the Dugars. Yeah, so It's definitely creepy shit. It's definitely creepy shit. And, I would say over the past few years, it was kind of conjectural that he was part of that. But I think everybody knows at this point he's got a gaggle of kids. They also have a very specific thing against pornography. And I think we've all heard GT talking about pornography. He's got a weird thing against it. And he uses the quiverful language to speak about it. Because they also have the Botkins actually have a global media empire, and they were previously involved in these things called vision schools. So if you're about my age, maybe a little older, you might remember these from the 90s. And these were quiverful schools, where they were literally indoctrinating people. They believe they're gonna save the world from communism. It's real strange. It's real strange, and they are openly Christian fascists. So there's no like gray area about that. They're open about this. So if you wondered about Mike Jones' strange political and religious beliefs, there you go. That's why I'm saying it's not really conjectural anymore. The Botkins themselves, very, very, very interesting family there. So yeah, they're great. Lucas Botkin's grandfather was actually a founding member of the current Quiverful movement, because it's had a few different eras, but as Quiverfuls, he was one of the founders. So that's one of the reasons why they are actually, prominent and rich, because Quiverfuls in general, aside from being known for having a fucking gaggle of kids, they're also known for being extremely poor because they can't afford to keep up with something like 12 kids. So, there's kind of an incentive to do things like, what Botkins are doing and what, Mike Jones is doing, or the Dugars, it's like, oh shit, Discovery wants to give me $250,000. God, we can finally get out of this trailer. Yeah, they were living in a trailer before that house. So it's very creepy. It's very creepy. And I didn't intend on the bulk of this stream being about Mike Jones, but it's just so weird, and it requires so much explanation. But we're gonna do a video on this in the future. It's in the works. So moving on, some actual news. So we've gone through Trigger Empire real quickly, briefly. Trigger Empire is back on the table. The news is that they've had a company restructuring. The Trigger will now be coming out at $279, and it is confirmed that it will be US made. So China's off the table. All the allegations that happened over the past couple days off the table. Complete restructuring, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Secondly, not huge conversation, but we'll have to see what happens with this. Apparently PTR buys KUSA, so that's pretty interesting, which doesn't include a lot, so we'll see what goes on with that. Third, Mike Jones, Garen Thumb being a weirdo. So that's pretty much all that is funny. But unfortunately, the stuff surrounding this, dangerous stuff, bad stuff, so dark stuff. Now let's get to the final thing I wanted to share today. We are 20 minutes in, and what are you doing, dude? Okay. Anyhow, so looks like ProPublica. They're an independent news organization. Some say they would be partisan, but that's really because they just report, and people don't like people that really just report. Will they get data packs for the AKs? No. That is one thing I have heard, is that this deal does not include any of the TDP. So that's very interesting. Sorry, I need to stop this. What are you doing, man? I'm a cat person. I gotta stop all this. What are you doing, dude? Cat trying to freaking knock over my toothbrush and all that shit. What are you doing, dude? Go use your litter box and get out of here. So, yeah, as far as I know, PTR ain't getting no data. As far as I know, they're not getting any tooling. So, we'll have to see over the development of that exactly what the deal includes. because our good buddy Clayco did do the live stream with gun quality enforcement and talked about all this stuff, and you might want to go back to that and look. But yeah, according to them, and they are a bit closer to the situation than I am. Um, yeah, apparently this does not include tooling. It does not include TDPs. Yeah, apparently this is just the name because KUSA was a DBA of RWC, a Russian weapons company, who is they are KUSA, so we're KUSA. So yes, I have a few AK-74s. Now, moving on, what I was just going to move on to. So there was a ProPublica investigation published, and the story really is kind of starting with Senator Richard Blumenthal. And yeah, he did an open call for answers from the gun industry about, and I quote from this article, its covert program to collect information on gun owners for political purposes. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, we're just going to go ahead and read a little bit through this article. Let me at least be a good person and credit the author, Corey G. Johnson. So, Johnson says, in a letter sent to the National Shooting Sports Foundation on Tuesday, Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut questioned the legality of the covert program in which firearms manufacturers for years have shared sensitive customer information with political operatives. Oh, it's no good. So, moving down, just to kind of summarize this, at least 10 gun industry businesses, including Glock, Smith & Wesson, Remington, and actually I do know Mossberg is actually involved in this as well, but that's not in this paragraph. So Glock, Smith & Wesson, and Remington handed over thousands of names, addresses, and private data without customer knowledge or consent to the NSSF, which then entered the details into what would become a massive database. The database was used to rally gun owners' electoral support for the industry's candidates running for White House and Congress. Now, if you're not aware of the NSSF, they took credit for electing George Bush as well as the current Donald Trump administration. Well, not current, incoming Donald Trump administration. The problem with this is that they shared the information with Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica is they're a right-wing think tank. So, big problem with that is it's an FTC violation to share customer data in a manner that is not consistent with what you have told the customers you are going to share the data for. So, anybody that was a member of the NSSF, I don't know what too many people are, but I do happen to actually live fairly closely to the NSSF range, actually. So in my area in particular, there's a lot of members. Now, what makes that so problematic is, my particular area is very rural, very conservative. So you don't get a lot of news out here. So, you tend to be able to, kind of buy your candidates around here really easily. It's very, very, very troubling, So we all know gun industry ain't nobody to trust, especially these big guys. But that's very, very concerning because, I think pretty much everybody over the past 20 years has at least looked at some of these policies and gone like, are they building a database? Well, unfortunately, the guys that actually were supposed to have our backs and actually have helped us in a bit because they got the legislators in that were able to prevent the reinstitution of the assault weapons ban, but unfortunately, they're doing so very dirty. That sucks. Let's go back to the comments. PTR could buy data packs from Eastern European countries. That is true. They could either buy or license from, someone like Shiger, WBP, Nova, someone like that. It's entirely possible. And in fact, very likely that's probably what's going to go on with the name is they're going to have someone else build the guns for them. They're going to slap KUSA on it. Good to go, and it's not crazy for PTR because they do that for other companies. They do that for Century. So those, Century C308s, those were built by PTR. Don't you think you're betraying American technology by admiring the Kalashnikovs? Why would that be a betrayal? I mean, especially as a gunsmith and a former engineer. I mean, technology in general, it doesn't matter where it's from. I feel as if good technology is something to be admired. Good minds make good technology, man. And I mean, that's like why you go to school and shit. But also, I mean, to speak on that a bit, it's all gun designers look to other countries. Explains why I got so many extra texts and calls this election. Actually, it does, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, sorry, Moose was calling me there. Oh, we froze. Goddamn live. I've heard that this is a problem with YouTube's live thing. It freezes. We'll be right back. Oh, Moose, man. Oh man, so that sucks.